The moment she stepped into the cafe, the room seemed to pause, not because of the noise or the crowd, but because of the quiet truth written on her body. A single mom arrived at a blind date with a baby bump that could not be hidden, her hand resting protectively over the life growing inside her, while the man waiting near the door realized in one heartbeat that this evening was about to test everything he believed about second chances, courage, and unexpected kindness. If you believe that kindness can change lives and that second chances can arrive in the most surprising ways, take a moment right now to like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel Ripple of Kindness, where stories like this remind us that humanity still has a heartbeat. She had almost turned back twice before reaching the cafe. The single mom had spent the entire afternoon staring at herself in the mirror, smoothing her dress over her rounded belly, wondering if she was foolish to come at all. Life had not unfolded gently for her. The baby bump was the result of a relationship that promised forever and delivered silence. Friends had encouraged her to try again, to meet someone kind, someone new, but walking into a blind date while visibly pregnant felt like stepping into judgment. Still, she came, because deep down she wanted to believe she was more than her circumstances. The single dad stood near the entrance, his jacket still on, scanning faces the way people do when they are not sure what they are looking for. He had his own history etched into his posture, the quiet weight of responsibility that comes from raising a child alone. Loss had taught him to be careful, to expect less, to guard his heart. When he saw her, his first instinct was confusion, then surprise, then something heavier that settled in his chest. This was not what he had imagined when he agreed to the blind date. The cafe buzzed around them with ordinary life. Cups clinked, laughter floated from another table, and outside the window, cars passed without noticing the fragile moment unfolding inside. She felt the shift immediately. Years of learning how to read a room had trained her to recognize discomfort. Her shoulders tightened, and she prepared herself for the polite excuse, the awkward retreat, the quiet confirmation of her fears. She told herself she could handle it. She had handled worse. But the single dad did not leave. Instead of turning away, he stayed where he was, grounding himself, letting the initial shock settle into understanding. He noticed the way she held herself with dignity despite the tension, the way her eyes carried both hope and caution. Something inside him stirred, a memory of how it felt to be judged not for who he was, but for the baggage life had handed him. He remembered the stares when he took his child to appointments alone, the assumptions, the unspoken questions. In that moment, he saw not a complication, but a reflection. They sat down, not with ease, but with honesty hanging in the air. The single mom braced herself for rejection with every passing second, her thoughts racing faster than her breath. She wondered if she should apologize for existing in this state, for daring to hope. The cafe chair felt too small, the table too exposed, as if everyone could see the storm inside her. Time passed differently then. What started as tension softened into something quieter. The single dad listened, not out of obligation, but with attention that surprised even him. He noticed her strength in the way she spoke about work, about preparing for a future she had to build alone. He saw courage where others might have seen inconvenience. And slowly, something unexpected happened. The walls he had built to protect himself did not feel necessary anymore. The single dad thought about his own child, about the nights he had sat awake worrying if he was enough, if he could give love and stability despite the absence left behind. He understood the fear of doing it alone, of being responsible for a life while still healing yourself. In her presence, he did not feel burdened. He felt connected. What he did next was simple, but it carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken choices. He stayed. He leaned into the moment instead of away from it. He treated the date not as a mistake, but as an opportunity to see another human being fully. In a world that often runs from discomfort, he chose compassion. The single mom felt the shift too. The tightness in her chest eased just a little. For the first time that day, she allowed herself to breathe. She realized she was not being evaluated or tolerated, but genuinely seen. It did not erase her struggles or promise an easy future, but it gave her something just as powerful. It gave her dignity. As the evening unfolded, the cafe lights grew warmer, and the outside world blurred into the background. Both of them were changed in quiet ways. The single dad was reminded that love does not always arrive packaged the way we expect. Sometimes it shows up carrying scars, responsibilities, and a story still being written. The single mom was reminded that she did not need to hide her reality to be worthy of kindness. By the time they stood to leave, nothing dramatic had happened on the surface. No grand gestures, no cinematic declarations. Yet something profound had shifted beneath it all. Two people who had been carrying life alone walked away a little lighter, not because their problems disappeared, but because they were no longer invisible. Just before the ending, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and share what this story made you feel, or a moment in your life when kindness showed up unexpectedly. The story does not promise a perfect ending, because real life rarely does, but it offers something more honest. It offers the idea that compassion can interrupt fear, that understanding can replace judgment, and that sometimes the most unexpected moments can restore our faith in humanity. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of your own journey or gave you hope in difficult times, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and engage with the comments so this message of kindness can reach even more people. Your support helps Ripple of Kindness continue sharing stories that matter. Because in the end, it was never just about a blind date or a baby bump. It was about two imperfect people choosing empathy over expectation and proving that even in the most uncertain moments, kindness still has the power to change everything.